time of day. But I ain't been doing nothing but drinking and thinking, yeah. Oh, since you've been away.
DJ Payne 1.
Oh, come on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CEO Sports Show for September 5th, 2025. On today's episode, we're going to be pretty much recapping what happened on Thursday night against the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. A lot to talk about here. And we're going to go over some week one stuff, talk about some of the games that are on the slate for week one on Sunday, and talk about the most interesting matchups for this Sunday. But before we get into the episode, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And I only found it fitting because this is the last, because we've been talking about the Cowboys a lot on this channel, rightfully so, because there's been a lot of noise made about them and a lot of stories about them. This will be the last time for the next few days that I talk about them on this channel. I'm wearing the Cowboys hat because you got to do that, right? You're talking about the Dallas Cowboys at this point. So I had to pull it off, and I really like the way it looks here. So, yeah, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, check out the other Kretschman Media shows. You will see the link to them on the page there. And Tim Franklin in the chat, good morning to you as well, my friend. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get into the game. The Cowboys should feel great coming out of this game against the Eagles. I understand that they lost, but I think that the Cowboys can look at that tape and say, we lost this game because we didn't take advantage of the opportunities that we were given. The Eagles look at this tape and they say, wow, there's really not much room to improve here. That's the way I looked at this game. I feel like Dallas, if they wanted to, could have put easily 10 to 21 extra points on the board. I mean, that's how efficient their offense looked. But CeeDee Lamb, on a few of those drop passes, it was bad. He had, I think it was either the crosser or the dig, I think it was, where Dak Prescott, I mean, he put it like right at his helmet. CeeDee Lamb, ball hit him in both of his hands, and he dropped it. That play down the field where CeeDee Lamb dropped that one, that was bad as well. There was also a few other plays, like the one Quinyon Mitchell near interception. CeeDee Lamb slipped. I don't necessarily blame that on CeeDee Lamb so much because the conditions were what they were. But there was another play where it was like 1st and 10. It would have made it 2nd and 3. And CeeDee Lamb wasn't where he was supposed to be. Dak Prescott put the ball somewhere, and CeeDee Lamb wasn't where he was supposed to be. So people are going to get on CD, rightfully so. But also remember that CeeDee Lamb made some big plays in this game as well. But, the fumble by Miles Sanders. I just look at this Cowboys team and I come out of this game saying, I think that at the current moment, they have a higher ceiling than the Philadelphia Eagles do. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday, they looked like they were hanging on a thread, and it's only week one. That's just my observation from this game. Landon Dickerson, they need to sit him down for a few weeks because he has been dealing with injury after injury. He is an injured player at the current moment. They need to be sitting him and resting him and allowing him to recover from the injuries that he sustained. When I look at what happened with Jalen Carter yesterday, and we'll get into that, but that defense did not look good yesterday. The box score is very misleading. Yeah, the Cowboys only put 20 points on the board. But again, they could have made that look a lot worse than what it actually was. And I look at the second half of this game, only 3 points were scored. Eagles scored on a field goal. And that's because Dallas's defense stepped up and legitimately played good football. First half, they had a bad game plan, right? And then they adjusted and they started to play good football. Philly, the only reason why they were getting defensive stops was because there was the play by Sanders where he fumbled the ball. There was that 3rd and 10 where CeeDee Lamb, it was the crosser or the dig. I'm not 100% sure what the route was. I'm going to have to watch the tape. Ball went right through his hands. And then the play down the field where CeeDee Lamb dropped that. I mean, like, he walked it right to him and put the ball right where it needed to be. So when I look at that, the Eagles defense got stops because of what the Dallas offense didn't do. And the Cowboys defense got stops in the second half because of what they did do. And that's the big story of the game coming out of this, which is why I don't think the Cowboys should feel bad about losing this game, because they can come out of this and say, this is Philly. This is the best they got. Like, all right, cool. If this is the best team in the NFC, we feel great about our chances. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if they played this game in Dallas next Sunday, I'd pick Dallas to win this game. That's just the way I feel. Because of the adjustments that Eberflus made in the second half, I'm going to have to wait and watch the tape and see in particular what he did before I can really come out here and tell you what he did do, because the broadcast version is just not the same as the All-22 version. But one of the adjustments that he made, putting the spy out there, that was big, because for some reason they decided to not put a spy out there in the first half. Jalen Hurts shredded them on the ground. I mean, but like, when you look at this Dallas team, there was a lot of things coming into this game that held them back, right? New coach looked fantastic. A lot of new pieces on defense. I think the defense in the second, particularly in the second half of the game, I thought they really, really played a good game. First half was a struggle, but what you saw in the second half, and not only that, Dallas, I think you could say, won on both sides of the line of scrimmage. When you look at offensive and defensive line, especially when you look at their offensive line, that has the potential to be a very special unit for the Cowboys. I mean, that interior three that they have with Smith, Beebe, and Booker, they were moving those Philadelphia Eagles defensive tackles. They were running the ball a lot better than I expected them to run the ball. I mean, I came away from this game very impressed with what I saw from the Cowboys. And, you know, my take on this game going into the game was that this is going to be a lot closer game than people expect, because both of these teams, I think, are inaccurately assessed going into this season. I think that the poor evaluation from both of these teams is the reason why this game looked as close as it did. Dallas is way better than people thought that they were going into the season. I heard Colin, what's the guy's name? Coward or something like that. The FS1 guy. He said that Dallas was a 5-win team going into the season. I think that when you watch the game last night, you could tell that Colin Cowherd is, I mean, we don't need any explanation. The guy is an absolute buffoon. And yes, I'm not afraid to say that on these microphones, because that's just what the guy is. And Philly was looked at as a team that, by far, Super Bowl contenders. They are clearly the best team in the league, and it's not close. Both of these evaluations were inaccurate. Philly is not clearly the best team in the league. I don't even think they are the best team in the league. Like, if Jalen Carter is suspended for these next 3 games, they could easily lose the next 3 games that they play. No doubt about it, they could lose the next 3 games. Because I think they should have lost this game yesterday. I think Dallas outplayed them. And then when you look at Dallas, they were not the 5-win team that some people projected them to be. They are about a 10 to 12-win team. And I think that when you look at the way they play team defense, especially in the second half of yesterday's game, it was impressive. So that's my takeaway from the game. I feel like even though, and maybe because the expectation of both of these teams are different, when you look at Philly, what is their expectation? They won the Super Bowl last year. They want to go back to back. And if that's the goal for the Eagles, I don't know how you look at your team yesterday and say that you feel confident that this team's going to go back to back. And if you're a Cowboys fan, the expectation is we just want to see a very good first year from Brian Schottenheimer. And what's a very good first year? Anywhere from 9 to 12 wins, a playoff win or two. That's what you want to see. And again, I feel like because of the expectations, like Dallas, yeah, they have a good team this year and they're going to win a lot of games this year. But the Dallas, their game is, let's go acquire these picks. Let's go add young talent to our defense and let's build that way. So when you look at that, I feel like the ticker for the Cowboys is moving up and the ticker for the Eagles is moving down. But again, you have to understand like where both of these teams were, right? Like Philly was up here and the ticker's moving down to like here. Dallas was down here and the ticker's moving up to like here. So that's what I mean when I say that. I don't mean like to say that the Cowboys are a better team than the Eagles right now. I'm not going to come out here and say that with my chest, but is it a possibility that the Cowboys could win the division? Yeah, like absolutely from what I saw yesterday. I want to move on to the Jalen Carter incident from yesterday. So can we be honest? Like anybody who thinks that Dak Prescott spat at Jalen Carter, I'm sorry, you're dumb. Like just respectfully, like it's either you're dumb or you're just an extremely biased Eagles homer, or you're an extremely biased Cowboys hater. Like when you watch what happened there, Dak Prescott spit, like I think it was seeds that he was spitting out. It was like 5 to 6 yards away from Jalen Carter. And by the way, why is it, I don't know why people aren't talking about this. Why is it Jalen Carter with his teammates on the opposite side of the ball? Why is he on the Cowboys side of the ball? What, like, does he not get criticism for that as well? Like, I mean, this is pretty black and white here. Jalen Carter is clearly at fault. And this is the thing, right? When Todd McShay came out and said that Jalen Carter has character concerns, people took a dump on him. Let's just call it what it is. But when it comes to here's the thing. In Todd McShay's position, you have to understand with draft evaluation, it's different because you have to talk about these guys' characters because you're investing. These teams are doing the same evaluations as Todd McShay is. So when Todd McShay came out and said Jalen Carter has character concerns, it's not because Todd McShay doesn't like Jalen Carter. It's because he's doing his job. Nothing personal. This is what I heard. This is what I got to report. NFL teams probably thought the same. No, I'm not probably. They definitely thought the same thing about Jalen Carter, which is why he fell to the number 9 overall pick. And let's be honest, he would have fell to the 10th pick if Chicago didn't trade back with Philly. Jalen Carter has character concerns. And when you're dealing with a situation like this, and Dak Prescott is on the opposite side, a Walter Payton Man of the Year, I'm going to take Dak Prescott's side on this. I'm going to say Dak Prescott, the player who has been a model citizen on and off the field, I'm going to take his side over Jalen Carter, who, yes, has character concerns. And we've seen it across his time in the NFL. Jalen Carter is an immature child. That's what he is. And this is going to get held against him come contract time. Oh, you want all this money? Really? So we have all these situations where you're being a distraction to the football team and doing these things that paint you in a bad light. I mean, you understand that's probably the most watched program on national television since the Super Bowl. And what does Jalen Carter do in the first, 30 seconds of the game? He goes and he spits on Dak Prescott. I mean, that's an utter embarrassment. That's a national embarrassment. Like that's embarrassing. You go on national television. I don't know what this got. Probably around 15 to 30 million people watching this game and you pull that stunt, that's embarrassing. This isn't NFL Fox Sunday, a 1:00 game, which, by the way, wouldn't make this any less egregious. But it's even more of a problem when, you are representing the Philadelphia Eagles there. And like it or not, the Philadelphia Eagles have a reputation. There's people who think a certain type of way about this team. So when Jalen Carter acts the way he acted yesterday, that's a problem. Like that's a big time problem. And for a team that's like, we're on to the next season. We're the New England Patriots of the 2020s. No, you're not. You're absolutely not. Acting like that, that's not how champions hold themselves, especially with the Eagles, who are a fantastic organization. And to me, this does not say anything about the Eagles as an organization. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Howie Roseman, for Jeffrey Lurie, for everybody involved in that organization. I even have respect for Nick Sirianni, even though I think he's kind of corny. I have respect for Nick Sirianni. But that right there, that is a Jalen Carter problem. And it's unfortunate that he does represent a football team, but at the same time, the Eagles are a championship organization. Got to hold them to that standard. And unfortunately, Jalen Carter went out there and embarrassed himself. And that has no room in the game of football. And you have to ask yourself, look, if Jalen Carter is suspended, and this is the thing, right? Look at the Eagles' schedule. I just want to make sure that I have this right. When you look at the next 3 games, if Jalen Carter is suspended, the next 3 games they have Kansas City in Kansas City, LA and Philly, Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. If it's a 4-game suspension, they got Denver in Philly. They could easily lose all of those games. I'm not saying they will, but those are all really good teams that they're going to be playing over the next 4 weeks here. And if Jalen Carter gets that type of suspension, man, what a boneheaded decision. What a boneheaded decision. I mean, it has no place in the game of football. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Roger Goodell should make an example of Jalen Carter. I'd suspend him for half the season. That's how egregious that was. Because, and I do think he's going to get suspended for multiple games. Because of the fact that, and if this was an NFL Fox Sunday, I personally think that the suspension wouldn't be as much as I think it's going to be. But sorry about that. But because it was on NBC and because of the viewership that they got for that game, I really do believe that he's probably going to get a big time suspension there. I think he gets 4 games. And if he gets 4 games, wow. I mean, how stupid can you be, man? And if he gets 6 to 8 games, I mean, man, that's just despicable. I mean, that really is. Shame on Jalen Carter. Absolute shame. I want to talk about some of the week 1 matchups. And in particular, something that Mike Wilbon said that I just wholeheartedly agree with. So Mike Wilbon was talking about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Can we just be honest here? Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are under more pressure than any other quarterback in football. Why can't we hold our great quarterbacks to a standard? Why is that so hard? Dan Orlovsky's not going to tell you that they're under the most pressure because he would never hold these guys accountable. He'll hold Dak Prescott and Caleb Williams accountable. That's what he'll do, but he's not going to hold Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson accountable. But we need to have standards for our great quarterbacks. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are under more pressure than any other quarterback in the NFL this upcoming season. And it's not because they can't play at a very high level. We know what Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson can do. These are fantastic quarterbacks. And if they don't get over the hump and Kansas City ends up getting to the Super Bowl again, they're still great quarterbacks. But we have to start holding these two to the same standard that we hold other quarterbacks to. These two are under more pressure than any other quarterbacks in football. They get paid at the top of the sport. They both won an MVP. They both won all pros. And what is the constant with both of those two young men? They cannot get their teams over the top. For as great as they are, they haven't been able to do it yet. And that's why they need to be held to an extremely high standard this upcoming season, especially Lamar Jackson. Buffalo is a little bit of a different story to me because I don't think Buffalo has the type of talent that Baltimore has. Baltimore, to me, is the best team in football. Both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. Now, they might not be the best offense. They might not be the best defense. But I think both of those units are easily in the top 5. And they have a top 3 quarterback in the league. And they have a really good coaching staff over there in Baltimore. They got to get it done this year. That's the team to me that I look at and I say, if you don't get it done this year, when are you going to get it done? I mean, where's the weakness with the Baltimore Ravens? I get it. Maybe their receivers aren't amazing, but they're good enough. The receivers over in Buffalo aren't that great. Josh Allen still gets the AFC Championship game pretty much every year. It's time for the Baltimore Ravens. They have to get it done this year. And I'm not going to allow people to sit here and continue to make excuses for Lamar Jackson if they can't get over the top. He has the team around him. Josh Allen, it's a little different, but even still, he's under a lot of pressure as well. Because when you are that type of guy and you are at the top of the league and people say, Josh Allen can elevate you. He can carry your football team. And I'm not saying that they're wrong for saying that, but can we stop with the idea that, Josh Allen can carry your football team? Okay, I agree, but he can't carry your team to a Super Bowl. And we've seen that. I'm not even saying an opinion here. We've seen that he cannot carry a team to a Super Bowl. So this is kind of my problem with the way football is covered, right? So he could carry your team, but what is he carrying your team to? Is he carrying your team to regular season wins into a conference championship game? Is that good enough? To me, good enough, and Josh Allen will tell you this himself, is a Super Bowl. So he could carry your team just like a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL can carry their teams to a certain point, right? There's a lot of quarterbacks that can carry teams to the playoffs, to the divisional round, to a conference championship. But not everybody can carry your team to a Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's a single quarterback in the NFL that can carry a team to a Super Bowl. Why? Because you need a team around you. You need a complete team, personnel-wise and coaching staff-wise. And personnel goes to the front office, right? So there's 3 phases of football team. There's the front office, there's the coaching staff, and then there's the players. Personnel and front office go with each other. So that's why I look at Baltimore and I say, you have the personnel this year, Lamar. You got to get it done. You're too good to not have at least a Super Bowl appearance on your resume. And I don't believe wins are a quarterback stat. Don't get it twisted. I do not believe that wins are a quarterback stat. But when you have the teams that Lamar has had, man, I got to hold you to a standard. And this year, it's it for me. This year, to me, it determines whether or not going forward, I look at Lamar Jackson as a James Harden type of player, like how in the NBA, James Harden was like that. Or if I look at him and I say, no, he is a legitimate all-time great quarterback, because he has the potential to be an all-time great quarterback. But when we talk about playoff performances, it's been rough for Lamar Jackson. It hasn't been perfect. And I don't know how anybody could disagree with that. But when I look at both of these two quarterbacks, they are absolutely under the most pressure. And I need to start hearing Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they're under the most pressure from everybody, from national media, from fans, because we hold them to this standard. You can't just be a top 4 quarterback in the game like both these guys are. Actually, I have them both top 3 and have the teams that you have. I mean, granted, Buffalo, I think that they're a pretty good team this year. I think they have enough to get to a Super Bowl. And Josh Allen, he's a fantastic quarterback. But again, I'm putting a little more pressure on Lamar here because I think he has a better team. But Josh Allen's under a lot of pressure as well. It's time. You have to get over the Kansas City Chiefs. It can't be another year where, again, you can't get over the Kansas City Chiefs. It's been 5 years now. And I think both of these teams, both the Ravens and the Bills, need to look themselves in the mirror at the end of this season and say, not that, because I think they both have the quarterbacks in place. I'm not trying to elude that. But what I'm trying to say is they need to make changes with their organization. And if that means letting go of their coaches, they probably need to do that. Because is it easier to find a John Harbaugh or Lamar Jackson? It's easier to find John Harbaugh. Is it easier to find Josh Allen, or is it easier to find Sean McDermott? It's easier to find Sean McDermott. So, like, when I look at this, both of these teams to me are in a make it or break it season, because I think organizationally, they need to look at the structure of their organization and ask the question, is this the leadership structure that is going to get us over the top? Because it's been time for a few years now for both these organizations. And again, it starts with the quarterbacks, because of the fact that I think both of these teams have good teams around them. And I personally think that Baltimore has a great team around Lamar. And we can't do this thing. And everybody knows I'm not a huge Jalen Hurts fan, but we can't do this thing where, like, hey, Jalen Hurts with a great team around him can get over the top and win a Super Bowl. And I do agree with people when they say Lamar and Josh Allen can get that done as well. I understand that. But we can't keep holding that against him and then see Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, well, more so Lamar Jackson, with the team that he has had. I got to hold you to a higher standard. And this is going to be a very interesting game on Sunday. I'm probably going to pick the Ravens to win this game, because the Ravens are a fantastic football team. Like, they're the best team in football. And to me, it's not necessarily a conversation, especially what we saw from the Eagles last night. There is no doubt in my mind that the Baltimore Ravens are a better football team than them. And it's not just because of the quarterback, but it's because what's around the quarterback. And when you have what's around the quarterback and the quarterback, yeah, I look at the Ravens and I say they're the best team in football. And I think they're going to beat the Bills on Sunday. That's a big time game. And a few other games that I want to talk about. I definitely want to talk about the Chiefs and Chargers real quick. We only have a few more minutes left on the show. But I think that the Chiefs are going to win this game tonight. Like, I look at this Chargers roster, and I've heard people say this is the best roster that Justin Herbert has had around him. And my response to that would be, do people actually expect Justin Herbert to win with this roster? Like, let's be honest. Do people actually expect Justin Herbert to win a Super Bowl with this roster? This roster is not good. They're not a good roster, especially losing Rashawn Slater. Man, that offensive line took a big time step back after that. Like, if they would have kept Rashawn Slater, or not kept, but if he didn't get injured, then I'd look at this team a little differently. But I don't love their receivers. I like Ladd McConkey a lot, but I wonder, is Ladd McConkey enough? I don't think he is. I don't love the play caller. I'm sorry, Greg Roman. Yeah, the name escaped me for a bit. I don't love Greg Roman as a play caller. Defensively, I think they're limited personnel-wise, but I think that Jesse Minter is a damn good defensive coordinator. I think that John Harbaugh elevates this, or not John, Jim. Jim Harbaugh elevates this organization. He puts them in a position to succeed. And Justin Herbert is a fantastic quarterback that plays on a team that does not have the personnel around him. And again, like, when we talk about these quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, just like Phillip Rivers before him, hasn't won anything with the Chargers. But you want to know what? I think that's more of an organizational thing. Like, when you look, another perfect example of this to me is the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's an awesome quarterback. Tony Romo was an awesome quarterback. They didn't get to a conference championship game. Why is that? I think it's more an organizational thing. Just like I think with the Chargers, it's more of an organizational thing, because Justin Herbert and Phillip Rivers are fantastic quarterbacks, but they didn't get over the top. Why? Because the organization didn't do enough. They didn't do their jobs in putting a great team around these guys. Now, Phillip Rivers, a little bit of a different story. He had some good teams around him, really good teams. Justin Herbert, though, I mean, name me a team that Justin Herbert had where you're just like, man, this team is fantastic. And I expect that he's going to have a big game tonight against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I just think the Chiefs, with what they have, obviously, I think their offensive line is going to be pretty solid this year. I think their receiver room is much better than it was last year, even though Rashee Rice is going to be out for, I think, the first few games of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Their defense, obviously, it's still great. Like I just look at this. I look at better quarterback for the Chiefs, better defense for the Chiefs, and better offensive surrounding pieces for the Chiefs, better play callers on both sides of the ball. To me, I think the Chiefs are, I'm not going to say run away with this game because that's just not how they win games, but they're going to win this game tonight. So if you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. There's 8 people watching, and I greatly appreciate you guys for coming out. Please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I will be live after the Chargers and Chiefs game tonight, so look forward to that. Can't wait to see you guys there. And also make sure to tune into the other shows on Kretschman Media. It's on the homepage of the CEO Sports Show. There's the Space Cowboys Show, Dub's Room, the Stadium Pulse, and the Mic Drop. Please make sure to go check those out. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next episode.